The hammer and sickle symbolizes solidarity between industrial workers and agricultural peasants. It was first adopted during the Russian Revolution at the end of World War I. Initially, it included a sword, but Lenin objected due to its militaristic connotations. After Russia's withdrawal from World War I in 1917 and the subsequent civil war, it became the emblem of labor and proletarian unity within the Soviet Union and internationally. Variations of the symbol were adopted by communist movements and parties worldwide and are still used in self-proclaimed socialist states like China, Cuba, North Korea, Laos and Vietnam, but also by far-left militant groups like the Shining Path in Peru, the insurgent Naxalites, or the banned Maoist Communist Party of India. The red five-pointed star represents the triumph of communism across the 5 inhabited continents and the 5 fingers of the worker's hand. Another interpretation ties it to 5 social groups leading Russia to communism: youth, military, industrial laborers, agricultural workers, and intelligentsia, meaning the educated or intellectual class. Originating in Tsarist Russia as the Mars star linked to the Roman god of war, it became a key military symbol during the Bolshevik Revolution and Russian Civil War, appearing in Red Army uniforms and heraldry from 1918 onward. In Soviet heraldry, it symbolized the Red Army's role in protecting peacetime labor and became a defining emblem of the Soviet Union, prominently displayed on buildings, insignia and awards. Beyond the USSR, it evolved into a symbol of broader socialism and armed revolutionary organizations. It was adopted by the dangerous far-left West German terrorist groups Red Army Faction and Revolutionary Cells. The red power fist, a raised, clenched fist symbolizing solidarity and resistance, has unclear origins, but became prominent in trade unionism, anarchism, and the labor movement by the 1910s. A large red fist was used in Budapest on a poster in 1912 to promote a mass strike. Among communists and socialists, the red fist is sometimes called the Red Salute. The far-left Rotfrontkämpfer Bund, a paramilitary group of the Communist Party of Germany, used the raised red fist as early as 1924 in their logo. During the Spanish Civil War, it was recognized as the anti-fascist salute. Red flags, symbolizing socialism, communism, anarchism, and the labor movement, are often seen alongside other communist symbols and used at rallies like May Day. It represents left-wing ideologies and has historically been associated with courage, sacrifice, and blood. Initially a symbol of defiance, the plain red flag became linked to left-wing politics during the French Revolution. Socialists adopted it during the revolutions of 1848 in Europe, and it was used by the Lyon and Paris communes after the Franco-Prussian War. The Soviet Union's flag and those of other communist states were inspired by this plain red flag. During the Cold War, countries like Vietnam also adopted it, and even terrorist groups like the Italian Marxist-Leninist Red Brigades later used it as part of their banner. The Khmer Rouge under Pol Pot also used a red flag as a base. Black and red flags are a symbol primarily used by anarcho-communists, representing a blend of anarchism and leftist socialist ideals. It was notably used by anarcho-syndicalists during the Spanish Civil War. Over time, its use expanded to statist leftist movements like the Sandinistas in Nicaragua and the Cuban 26th of July movement, where the flag's colors are arranged horizontally rather than diagonally. The Mexican Zapatistas, a far-left militant group in constant conflict with the Mexican state, and a group of popular combatants, a Marxist-Leninist insurgent movement in Ecuador, also use a flag in this style. The flag of the Chilean far-left Marxist-Leninist Communist Party combines these colors with a white 5-pointed star. A more recent example is the flag of the combat organization of anarcho-communists, active in Belarusian and Russian partisan movements. The National Bolshevism symbol originated from the National Bolshevik movement in Germany during the 1920s, appearing on Ernst Niekisch's magazine Widerstand. Nikisch, a Stalin admirer from the old Social Democratic Party of Germany, used the symbol to promote a national revolutionary agenda. This movement sought to merge ultra-nationalism with Bolshevik communism, drawing from Leninist and Marxist-Leninist principles of centralized revolution. Overthrowing capitalism and establishing the dictatorship of the proletariat were the ultimate goals. The emblem featured an eagle clutching a sword alongside the classic communist hammer and sickle, signifying its syncretic ideology. Another figure, Karl Otto Paetel, author of the National Bolshevist Manifesto in 1933, developed a separate logo, a sword crossed with a hammer and scythe, for his group of the Social Revolutionary Nationalists. Today, the National Bolshevism symbol is prominently used by the Russian National Bolshevik Front on a red flag. The East Germany emblem, adopted in 1955, featured a hammer, compass, and a ring of wheat. The hammer symbolized workers, the compass represented the intelligentsia, and the wheat signified farmers. The emblem was unique for lacking a red star and was used by East Germany, which described itself as a socialist workers' and peasants' state, until 1989. It was also used by the Stasi, East Germany's notorious secret police, known for its extreme repression, violence, and widespread surveillance to crush dissent. The Order of the Partisan Star was a Yugoslav military decoration awarded for bravery and service during World War II by the communist-led Yugoslav partisans under Josip Broz Tito. As a symbol, it represents the communist resistance movement in Yugoslavia, specifically honoring those who fought against the Axis powers. The red sun symbol was mainly paired with Mao Zedong's portrait and used to elevate him as the guiding light of Chinese communism. During the Cultural Revolution, Mao was almost deified, with the sun representing his omnipresence and central role in guiding the nation's progress. The propaganda suggested that, much like the sun is essential for life, Mao's thoughts and leadership are vital for China's success. Red is also linked to good fortune and prosperity in Chinese culture, which amplified the symbol even more. The sun symbolized the spread of Mao Zedong thought. The Plough, or Starry Plough, is a flag originally used in 1914 by the Irish Citizen Army, a socialist Irish Republican movement. It features a part from the Ursa Major star constellation symbolizing a free Ireland. The sword as the plowshare is a biblical reference to Isaiah, where weapons are turned into tools of peace. The flag's design evolved in the 1930s to a blue banner adopted by the Irish labor movement. In China, the Plough flag was used during the First Revolutionary Civil War by the Chinese Peasants Association, led by the Communist Party. The AK-47, developed in the Soviet Union, it became a weapon closely tied to the ideals of liberation and resistance promoted by Marxist-Leninist movements, especially during the Cold War. It represents the armed struggle of the working class, symbolizing defiance, empowerment, and the fight against oppression. The AK-47's influence extends beyond its utility, as seen in its inclusion on national symbols like Mozambique's flag and emblem, where it marks the country's revolutionary victory and independence. It also appears on the banners of groups like the Syrian Resistance, a Marxist-Leninist militia, and the New People's Army, the armed wing of the Communist Party of the Philippines. Red Guard symbols. The Red Guards were a paramilitary movement active during Mao Zedong's Cultural Revolution from 1966 to 1968. Their iconic red armbands, often emblazoned with Mao's portrait, slogans like "Long live Chairman Mao" and red or white stars became a visual hallmark of their movement. These armbands symbolize their unity and unwavering support of Mao's ideology. Another crucial symbol was the Little Red Book, which contained quotes from Mao Zedong. Carrying it was both a badge of allegiance and a tool for spreading Maoist doctrine. Mao used the movement as a propaganda tool for power consolidation and to dismantle China's pre-communist heritage. The Red Guards movement reached its peak during the infamous Red August of 1966, where a wave of violence and mass killings was started. Communist leader portraits, such as those of Marx, Engels, Lenin, Stalin, Mao Zedong, and Che Guevara, are iconic symbols of communism. Karl Marx co-authored the Communist Manifesto and developed the theory of class struggle and socialism. Friedrich Engels collaborated with Marx on the manifesto and helped spread Marxist ideas globally. Vladimir Lenin was the founder and first head of government of Soviet Russia. Joseph Stalin, the brutal totalitarian dictator, followed Lenin's path and is associated with the extreme enforcement of communist policies in the USSR. Mao Zedong led the Communist Party of China, establishing a socialist state through authoritarian control and violence. Che Guevara, an Argentine Marxist revolutionary and key figure in the Cuban Revolution, is celebrated as a symbol of guerrilla warfare and revolutionary socialism. Torches have been used symbolically by various groups to represent enlightenment through revolution and the spread of communist ideology. For example, the old emblem of Yugoslavia featured 6 torches burning together in one flame, surrounded by wheat with a red star on top, symbolizing the unity and brotherhood of its 6 federal republics. The Chinese Communist Party's Young Pioneers of China use a flag with a yellow star overlaid on a torch on a red background, representing youth, enlightenment, and revolutionary spirit. There's also a torch at the top of the Juche Tower in Pyongyang, North Korea. While torches are a symbol of communist ideals in some places, they don't hold the same recognition as the hammer and sickle in communist iconography.